Hey, what's up you guys? Hope you're all having a good day. And after today's video, we're going to be ranking Michael Jackson's discography. So just to set some ground rules, we are only looking at his studio albums. We are also only looking at his solo career. So that's the ground rules. How we're going to do it is we're going to go through in chronological order, and I'm going to reveal where I ranked his 10 studio albums as we go. Starting off, we have his debut album, which was named Got to Be There. It was released in 1972, and he was only 14 when the album was released. As for its singles, it featured Got to Be There, which peaked at number 4, Rocking Robin, which peaked at number 2, I Wanna Be Where You Are, which peaked at number 29. It also featured covers of Bill Withers' Ain't No Sunshine and Bobby Day's Rockin' Robin. My fave track on this album was probably Maria, You Were the Only One. I really vibed with the soaring vocals that were on the track. Overall thoughts, very similar vibe to Jackson 5 style, which makes sense as it's produced by the same record company, being of course Motown Records. It's very sleek and professional in its production and showcases Jackson's skill as a singer. However, it does feel like it does get a little bit samey through the record, so that'd be my only negative thing about the album really. Yeah, so I rank it in 7th position. Ben, it was released in 1972, so the same year as his first album. Was a busy boy. Yeah, it's basically just more of the same as his first album. As for its singles, was Ben, which won a Golden Globe and was his first #1 hit. Half of the songs on this record are covers, and yeah, it's really just more of the same. So I would have preferred to see some development in the sound from a first to second record. You would like to sort of see some sort of progression, but granted, since they were both released in the same year, that might be why. So as a result of all that, it's ranked 9th, Music and Me, and was released in 1973. Yeah, it's pretty much got the same sound as his last two singles of With a Child's Heart, Happy, and Music and Me. It's still very much in that Motown sound. However, there seems to be a little bit more of a maturity there than his first two albums. Maybe that's because he's a year older. So that's ranked 8th as Michael Forever, which was released in 1975. Singles off of this record were Almost There, Just a Little Bit of You, and One Day of Your Life. This record leans more heavily into soul and funk influences than his previous work, while the previous ones are more of that sort of pop and R&B vibe. So it was nice to sort of see something a little bit different from Michael Jackson on this record. And as a result, it hits 6th position. Off the Wall, which was released in 1979. Features the singles of Don't Stop to Get Enough, which reached #1. Rock With You, which reached #1. Off the Wall, which hit the top 10, and She's Out of My Life, which also hit the top 10. It was nominated for 2 Grammys. Finally, we have an album here which sounds like a Michael Jackson record. This is really a departure from his first 4 albums, and then it's not like Motown Jackson 5 sounding record, probably because he's I believe it's his first album not under Motown Records. So that makes sense. And this one's interesting in that it definitely sort of feels like it goes for more of a disco dance theme. And so as a result, it's got that dancing vibe. You could really tell that they'd be playing this in the clubs in the 70s, and people would be getting down to it. Fuck, I'm white, but yeah. Just a fun record, just a really fun record. Having said that, not much of a fan of disco, so maybe that's why it's ranked in 5th position. Thriller, which was released in 1982, features singles such as The Girl Is Mine, Billie Jean, Beat It, Wanna Be Starting Somewhere, Human Nature, Pretty Young Thing, and Thriller, all of which reached the top 10. Billie Jean and Beat It in particular reached #1. Has the advantage of having 3 bangers in a row on the record. I believe tracks 7, 8, and 9, I want to say, being Billie Jean, Beat It, and Thriller, which are just, like I said, just absolute bangers. Thriller takes on a much darker tone theme-wise than his previous work, which is interesting to listen to. And as a result of all that, it is the best Michael Jackson record. So sorry, we've kind of spoiled the list a bit early on, but that's okay. Next up, we have Bad, which was released in 1987 and features singles such as I Just Can't Stop Loving You, which reached number 1, Bad, which reached number 1, The Way You Make Me Feel, Man in the Mirror, and Dirty Diana, Another Part of Me, Smooth Criminal, and Leave Me Alone. Yeah, 5 out of that 8, if my math is correct, reached number 1, so what a bangers. Yeah, so quite similar to Thriller in that Bad has a lot of Jackson's biggest hits on the record. It's got that going for it. Thematically, it's quite a serious record, and that touches on a lot of real world issues, which is something that I enjoy a lot, and I think that's what really sets great art apart from good art, you know what I mean? I think in order for art to sort of get to that level of greatness, I think it has to sort of reflect society in a way, or comment on society somehow. And so as a result, it hits in second position. The reason why it's second rather than first is I just think Thriller is just a little bit stronger. Also, just the fact that Thriller's just got yeah, it's got Thriller, Beat It, and Billie Jean, mate. That's what sort of sets it apart. Moving on, we have his 8th album, which was Dangerous, released in 1991. Features the single Black or White. Dangerous continues the trend of social conscious themes, but differs slightly, and then is much more experimental in its sound, which was pretty cool to listen to. There's a lot of like playing around with sort of unusual like audio cues used in the beat. I can't remember the name of the song at the moment, but there's one song and they use car elements to make up the beat, which was quite interesting, I thought. The main reason why I have it here is the fact that it just doesn't have as many hits as Bad and Thriller, so that's kind of why it's in this position of course being 4th. His story, past, present, and future. The first part of this album is literally just a compilation album, but the second part of that album is actually a new record. That's why it's counted. Features singles such as Scream, Childhood, You Are Not Alone, Earth Song, and This Time Around. It's another album that sort of explores a mix of genres. It's ranked here as it does score highly with hits such as You Are Not Alone and They Don't Really Care About Us, those 2 songs being really good, especially You Don't Really Care About Us. That's a good song. Like, oof, it's a good song. And so as a result, it hits in 3rd position. His last album, which was Invincible and was released in 2001, and it features singles such as You Rock My World, Butterflies, and Cry. So it leans heavily into an electronic sound, and just some of the electronic sounds production is just really grating in terms of just how it sounds, like just how the beat was put together. So I just really just did not vibe with this record at all, and as a result it is ranked 10th. So unfortunately I would argue his worst album. Well, that is my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. Leave it down in the comments below. If you agree with me, what's your ranking of Michael Jackson's albums? If you haven't already, please subscribe. I make videos whenever I can. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.